Okay, I still have my thing from the previous video. So I said that you could create a button where you press a key and then you pause your game and then you start it back up again. So let's build that. So I start at 0 and then I start counting every 10 milliseconds. And then I made it stop after 3 seconds by running clear interval. Let's do something different. So I'm going to delete what comes after that. This is just going to start the counting, and it's just going to go wild. I'm going to clear this. And it's just going to go wild, and it's never going to stop. So let's make it stop. Let's say let paused equals false. And then we want to make it so that when you press a key, it will pause the game. So how do we do that? Well, we need to access the website that is running the script, which is kind of something we haven't done much before this video. So in order to access the website, we need to say document dot, I guess let's do this to the whole body. So I'm just going to say dot body dot on key down. And we are going to set a function here. So I'm going to say an arrow function. So there's my function. And inside, I could have just done a generic function. That works as well. So I could have just said function just like that. That works too. But inside of the curly brackets, I need to say what happens. So when I press a key, this is called an event listener. So my website, I have to be clicked on here. I need to be focused on this site. I can't be over here and press a key. But if I'm on the site and I press a key, I'm going to press P. I want it to respond. So this thing here, this property of any element, in this case I'm grabbing the whole page really. So that's the body of the document. It's okay. I haven't explained any of that, but in these videos, but I'm basically just adding a little listener, and whenever you press a key, that's an event. So when you press the key down, that's a key down event, and it's going to actually produce information about that event. So the function is going to accept that information. I need to give it a name. I could call it event. I'm just going to call it E. I think most people just put an E here, and that represents your information about the event. Okay, so what kind of information? Well, console.log e.key. So what happens? Let's run that. Starts over, it starts counting. I clicked in here, so I'm focused on the body. I'm going to press a key. I guess you couldn't see it. Maybe instead of console.log, I'll do alert. I think that'll sort of pause everything and make me say okay. Let's try that again. You could see that it saw I pressed F5 to refresh. But now I'm going to press a key, P, and it sort of stops and it's like alert, P. Okay, and it keeps going. Alright, what if I hit J? J, okay. So this is working. Whenever I press a key, it knows and it tells me what key I pressed. I could say key.code and I would get different information. So if I press P now, well, I gotta refresh it, don't I? If I press P now, it says 80. That's the key code for a P. If I press J, it says 74. That's the key code for that. So you can use key codes as well, or you could just say e.key. What do I want it to do? I want it to pause the game when I press a particular key. So right now my game is running. I've named the set interval process, and it's just counting. So I want to kill the process when I press P, but I want to bring it back when I press it again. So I'm going to say, when I press a key, if paused, if I'm paused, do this stuff. Or else, if I'm not paused, do this other stuff. Okay, so what am I going to do if the game is paused? I'm going to bring it back. So I'm going to run the thing here, process equals blah, and I'm going to paste it here. So if I'm paused and I press P, it is going to run the program again, but this time it's going to say paused equals false. So if paused is true, turn the game back on when I press P, but then remember that you're not paused anymore. If paused is not true, if it's false like it is at the beginning, and I press P, you're going to do this. What are you going to do? Clear interval process. Also, pause equals true. Alright, that should do it. So let's go over here, press refresh. Hold, I gotta... I'll do it this way, okay. Now it's running, blah, blah, blah. So nice. Let me press P. It stopped. It stopped at 4:59. What happens when I press P again? And there we go. It's back. Picks up where it left off. Press P. It stops. Press P. It's back. Press P. It stops. Press P. It's back. So this is how you can pause things. Also, it is how you can detect when you're pressing a key. So we can just use document.body.onKeyDown equals a function. The function receives the event, the key down event information here, and then I can use that to well, you know, I'm not even using that. I was pressing P. I could press K. That will do it. I could press T. That'll do it. I actually didn't make this only work when I press P. It only cares if the game is paused or not. So what can I do? I can wrap this whole thing. So I'm going to press Tab with that selected to indent it all. And I'm going to wrap the whole thing in an if e.key equals P. If it is P, only if it's P will it run all that code. If I press anything else, it won't. So here it's running. I'm going to press J. Well, that didn't work. Let's refresh it. Oh, I didn't save. See, I've got unsaved changes. Control S. Okay, now it should work. Let's refresh it. I'm going to press J. It doesn't care that I'm pressing J. I'm pressing Y. I'm pressing G. I'm going to press P now. And it worked. I'm going to press K, B, R. I'm going to press P again. And it's back. So I made P my pause button. So these are really nice things to use. They're very powerful. You can have more than one process going. So for instance, I could throw in another process. Let rando equal set interval. And this one will fire every second. And it's going to say, oops, I misspelled function. Console.log hello. So every second I should get a hello. Boom, there is it. Boom, boom. So this thing fires every 10 milliseconds. This one fires every second. I've got two separate processes running. When I go to this and I press P, I've stopped that process, but I haven't stopped rando. I've only stopped process. So it's going. I'm still getting hellos every second. And then if I press P, it comes back. So it's powerful. It's really good stuff. You can have more than one interval going. You can control them separately. Why is that good? Well, I could have a game and I could have a menu, and they could both be running every frame. If I pause the game, I still want to interact with the menu. So I want to shut the game process down, but I want to keep the menu process running, so that if I hover over a button, I get a drop-down menu. The menu's still going, but the game has been paused. So that's very useful. I hope that made sense, and I hope you're getting ideas.